What's up? I'm about to cover how to create your imagery chart, how to make your mandala grid, and how to fill your grid in with your rough draft images from your mandala chart. Make sure to check out my website. My website's really important. It also has links in there on how to create circles without using compasses. It also has a link in there on how to look at other videos about how to make a mandala grid, not just mine. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to my document camera. Document camera. Document camera. That was weird. That was weird. The first thing you need to do is make an imagery chart. An imagery chart is definitely a rough draft, and you're gonna write a list of things that you like. And then next to each one of those things, you're going to draw an image that represents that object that you really like. I like bikes, so I drew a bicycle and a bicycle wheel. I like to camp, so I drew a tent and fire. I like to eat food, so I drew a fork and a spoon. I like to fish, so I then drew a fishing pole and a fish. After you get done with this, you're then going to draw a grid. What I mean by a grid is that you are going to draw a series of circles like this, circle, 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 and then you're going to start filling in the imagery from your imagery chart onto the mandala grid. So whenever you draw the grid is just a series of circles, and then you cut it up into pieces of pie. And this helps you figure out how to put the imagery in your grid using radial symmetry. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a grid. If you have a compass, the compass is the handiest thing to have, but I understand that if you don't. So I'm going to go ahead and use a nail and a pencil, and I'm using a shoestring, like a shoelace. So what you do, and I put the nail down in the middle, like this, and then I just draw my circle. Now, some people say, oh, that's not a perfect circle, but that's okay. It's not a huge deal. I mean, it's kind of flat on that side, but that's all right. And then to make other circles, you just go, you pull it out further. So I'm going to bring it out pretty far. I like to usually mark where I put my nail. Well, you know what? That's okay, because I'm just going to go ahead and just section it off. No tiny circle. It's just being ornery. So I'm going to go ahead and section it off. I'm going to draw a line. You might notice I'm drawing a line right through that middle dot. So I'm going to flip it this way and cut it in half this way. And you should have roughly 8 sections that are equal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Granted, if you look at it, this section is obviously bigger than this one, but we're just going to roll with it. I'm going to then use the imagery I selected off of my imagery chart. I'm going to start putting it into here. As you can tell, I already started up on this one. I used the fork. So I've selected my fork. I selected a fish, and I selected a fire, and I selected my wheel. So here are my forks. Here's my wheel. Here's my campfire. My campfire is right here. And what else did I have on there? A fish. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I was originally consuming this space with the design, as long as it's the same design. I really didn't like this one, and now that I'm looking at this one, I don't like that one either. I'm probably going to put a fish there. So I'm going to go ahead. I noticed that my fork is going to be right here, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my fork. And then I have my bicycle wheel. And then I have a campfire right here. You might notice I'm going to try to copy this shape here. I don't like this design, and I don't like this design. Nope, don't like it. So instead, I'm going to put a fish. So then I'm going to go ahead. I really like this. And then in between these, I'm going to put wave lines. Whenever you get done with your, putting the imagery in here, make sure to start filling in your negative space, like this is considered negative space, with design and line. Where did we practice doing lines? Let me think. Probably your line practice. So you can take some of the lines off your line practice and start putting them inside your rough draft. So there's the mandala. This is the mandala rough draft. So when you complete all this, That is the Mandala RD number 2. So let me go over that one more time. This is a grade. The imagery chart, that's a grade. When you get done with this, take a picture of it, put it inside your art portfolio. When you get done with the grid, which looks like this, go ahead, don't take a picture of it. Go ahead and just start drawing your images from your imagery chart onto your grid. Then when it's full of it, when it's totally done, when it's totally full, go ahead and take a picture of it and put it inside your art portfolio. That's how to do your 3 rough drafts, your imagery chart, your mandala grid, and your mandala rough draft number 2. Go ahead, take pictures of those, put them inside your art portfolio, and let me know whenever they're in there so we can go ahead and put them inside the grade book. All right, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing your work.